Zen Master Bon Soeng used to have this line. He would say, use your karma and make it correct. So I think most of us, when we come to practice, we're kind of sick of who we are. And we think, well, if we just get rid of that, then everything's going to be okay. My experience, Steve is telling you his experience, most people find out that's not what happens. That's not the way it works. We learn to work with our karma. Nobody really understands why we are the way we are. But I think if you look at it both from a Buddhist perspective and a psychological perspective, we grow out of the circumstances of our lives. You know, you probably can't say any of us are come into this world with a blank slate. It seems like if you see new babies, they have a certain temperament. They have their own conditions. But of course, a baby comes from, I'm losing count, but we have 20, how many chromosomes do we have?
46.
I'm sorry?
46.
46, right, that's what I thought. 23 from each parent. So already our story begins just by the genetic material that's passed on to us. You know, science is learning so much more about the meaning of that genetic composition and all the DNA that comes into that, and what maybe emotional memories, what is stored in that genetic material. And then we spend 9 months in the womb. That's 9 months of experience. So by the time we come out, it's not like we're suddenly new. This genetic material has been passed on for millions of years. And probably it goes back to the very first life forms on this planet. So who knows the origin of what we call ourselves? And then we have life experience that shapes us. So there's so much that goes into it. To think that somehow we're going to drop that person that we're sick of and become some other person is in some ways some of the first disillusionments that we have to have when we practice. Maybe in some ways, if we're willing to stick with it, our practice is a series of one disillusionment after another. But listen to that word, disillusioned. Disillusioned has a negative concept. We hear it and it sounds like that's a bad thing. We become disillusioned. And of course there is a definition of the word disillusion that's negative. But there's the flip side of that. Because from the Buddhist perspective, it's the illusions that we carry that keep us trapped. So as we become disillusioned, we wake up more to what's actually going on in this moment. We become more alive. When we let go of our illusions, we have more contact with reality. That contact with reality is life. The illusions separate us from our lives. So once we accept the fact that we have to deal with who we are, we have to deal with this reality, this body, this conditioning. Now, there's a lot of illusions to drop about who I am, because who I think I am is not actually who I am. Just as Steve was talking about all the stories that get in the way, the story about who we think we are also gets in the way. You know this term or phrase, I'm like this, I'm naturally like this, or its converse, I'm not like this. Often we say the phrase, well, I'm not like that, right after we've done something that we think we're not like. So we think we're not like that, but then we just did it. well, actually, maybe I am like that sometimes. So Zen practice comes right to the question, what am I? We all know this. That's our fundamental starting point. And our answer is don't know. If we don't know, if we let go of our assumptions, our beliefs, our ideas, then we can watch. Then we can see. Then we can listen. And then we can find out, what is it right now? What is it right now? Not what's the story I carry about who I am, but right now, how is it? Right now, how is it manifesting? If we change the word I to it, how is it right now? Yesterday, it was like this. Now, what's it like? If we believe because it was like this yesterday, that means it's like it today, then we're back into those illusions that trap us. But if we remember that right now is the expression of it, right now is the expression of I,